this review should have been out like days ago because I got a screener for this movie earlier in the week. It's just work got in the way, but you know the saying goes, better late than never. I hate capitalism. I wish I could quit, but I can't. And welcome to my safe haven, everyone. This is a spooky episode of the Black Gay Comic Geek because we are here talking about The Conjuring 3, or the apt title, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. But let's jump right into the review because I don't really have that much time. My father will be here in the next half an hour because we're going out to breakfast, me, my father, and my sisters. This will actually be the first time we've really gotten together as a family since COVID. We're all vaccinated. So, yeah. Anyway, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is the third installment to the Conjuring series, which was started and created by James Wan. However, this movie is directed by Michael Chaves, and it once again sees the return of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren take on the most sensational cases of their careers after a cop stumbles upon a dazed and bloodied young man walking down the road. Accused of murder, the suspect claims demonic possession as his defense, forcing the Warrens into a supernatural inquiry unlike anything they've ever seen before. And so yeah, when it was announced that a Conjuring 3 was coming, I was really excited about this movie because I really enjoyed the first Conjuring. I didn't like the second Conjuring as much as the first one, but I really enjoy the first two Conjuring movies. Now the spin-offs, Annabelle, I didn't see The Nun, but The Curse of La Llorona, which that got me really nervous because the director of this movie, Michael Chaves, is also the director of The Curse of La Llorona, and I freaking hated The Curse of La Llorona. So when I found out he was hired to direct The Conjuring 3, I was like, oh, that gets me super nervous. And I mean, I like the third Annabelle more than the other ones, but yeah, the only movies in the Conjuring universe that I've enjoyed was The Conjuring. So then when you get to the worst movie of the Conjuring universe, The Curse of La Llorona, and find out that that director is directing this one, I was just like, oh man, this is not good. Don't do this to me. But then when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, the trailer looks kind of interesting. But I did feel like a lot of the scare moments they showed in the trailer, so it left me weary going into this movie. And I am happy to report that I did not hate The Conjuring 3 or The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It like I hated The Curse of La Llorona. Like, this movie was leagues better than The Curse of La Llorona. And I think a lot of that had to just do with the fact that I'm invested in Ed and Lorraine Warren. Like, these characters I love following, and the thing about this movie as opposed to the other two movies is I feel like Ed and Lorraine Warren were way more prominent in this movie than in the other two movies. Like, in the other two movies, it was mostly about the family that was getting haunted, and Ed and Lorraine Warren were there to just help them. But in this movie, you still had the same concept where you had this family being haunted, but this movie was way more invested and followed the characters of Ed and Lorraine Warren because they too, not to get into spoilers, but they too were more heavily involved in the haunting than they were in the other movies. And like, honestly, like, because of the great performances of Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson as Ed and Lorraine Warren, like, I can watch dozens and dozens of movies following these two characters because they're strong, their chemistry together on screen, like, it's very strong. And then they're very strong characters in terms of the writing of their characters. I just really enjoy following them and all their hijinks and all the supernatural dealings that they end up being involved with. However, with that said, I do feel like this was the weakest of the Conjuring movies, and I do feel like mostly, like, you could just tell that James Wan was missing from this movie. I do feel like the weakness in this movie was in the directing. The thing that really kept me interested and invested in this movie, I feel like, was mostly the story. Like, again, I mentioned that you're invested in the dynamic between the Warrens, and then also, like, Ed and Lorraine Warren are real life people. I believe they just recently died a couple years ago, so rest in peace to Ed and Lorraine Warren. And a lot of the cases in the Conjuring movies are based on real life cases that they themselves have been involved with because they are real life, or they were real life paranormal investigators. So this, The Devil Made Me Do It, is actually based on a real life case called The Devil Made Me Do It. It was the first time in American history where a person went to trial for murder, and they did claim demonic possession. And so because of that, I was very interested in that aspect of the movie, knowing that it was based on a true American trial. And obviously, you know, with this being a horror movie, they do embellish it and add way more supernatural elements than to what happened in real life. But the mystery and mystique of this real life trial is still there. But even though I was interested in the story, I feel like in terms of a movie, in some ways it was kind of boring. And in what I mean by that, I feel like a lot of the horror elements of this movie was very much telegraphed. Like, there were no surprises in terms of the way Michael Chaves crafted this story. Like, there were so many shots and so many moments where you had one of the characters looking off into the distance or looking off into the darkness or looking at it or staring at a tree or something like that. And you're just staring at the screen, which actually, let me just say first and foremost, even though this review is coming out a little bit late, I do want to thank Warner Brothers and HBO Max for allowing me to get an early screener for this movie. So thank you for that. But the whole time while I'm sitting at home watching it, like, you see them staring off into the distance and you're like, okay, so something's about to jump out at them. And literally, as I'm saying that, it happened. So I'm just like, okay, like, where was the surprise? At least with James Wan, he's the type of director that will subvert your expectations, where you think something's gonna jump out, it doesn't happen. And when you think something's not gonna jump out, it does happen. So it doesn't necessarily scare me. Like, jump scares never scare me, but it does catch you off guard and make things more interesting in terms of the crafting of the movie in and of itself. And plus, James Wan is just a great horror director. Like, you got the very first Saw movie, which was the best movie of the franchise. Of course, you got Insidious and the first two Conjuring movies. Like, his presence, or really his absence from this movie, was very sorely felt. Again, and I'm not saying that I dislike this movie. I didn't dislike this movie, but again, it was definitely the weakest of the Conjuring movies. But yeah, like I said, if you're a fan of the Conjuring movies, you're not going to hate this movie, or maybe you're not going to hate this movie, because all film and art is subjective. I didn't hate this movie, but I didn't love it, and I wanted to love it, or at least really enjoy it. But yeah, for me, overall, I would just say that The Conjuring 3 was a high breaking even. But the question is, have you guys seen The Conjuring 3? Did you like it? Maybe you liked it more than me. Out of the 3 Conjuring movies, which Conjuring movie is your favorite? And also, do you enjoy the spin-offs? Which spin-off is your favorite? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you can, please hit that thumbs up button to like this video. It'll really help out with the channel. And if this is your first time watching one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And guys, in case you didn't see my last video, I just recently passed 4,000 subscribers. So in honor of that, I released my merch store. You can definitely check that out. It is going to be in the link in the description box below. So if you're interested in picking up some merch from me, I have my BlackGayComicGeek shirt, I have my Blood Sex Gore Magic shirt, and I have my Welcome to My Safe Haven shirts. All 3 shirts you've seen me wear at various points and times on this very channel. So if you're interested in getting one for yourself, definitely check that link in the description box below, and hopefully you enjoy it. And thank you so much for all the people that did buy shirts so far. Like, the fact that I have 4,000 subscribers on my channel and the people actually want to buy shirts from me, like, that's crazy to me. But thank you so much for the support. And hopefully we can keep this Black Gay Comic Geek safe haven growing for everybody. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.